Hey, Lindsay, how's it going?
It's going great, Michelle. What's going on in your world today? What's happening?
I don't know. I feel like I've been watching a lot of really good fun stuff, funny shows. I've been watching
Oh,
Ted
really?
Lasso. Do you watch Ted Lasso?
Oh, you're a big fan of that. I remember
Yeah.
you talked about. Is that still on? That's so funny.
Yeah,
I've
the
still
new season just came out, so I'm
okay.
enjoying that. So
Mm,
I really like that show. So today we're going to be talking about understanding jokes, because we have a
yeah.
great listener question. Lindsay, do you ever not get the joke
Oh,
and
yeah.
you're not sure what to do?
Oh, yeah. It happens a little bit for me. I get embarrassed when I don't get the joke. I try to hide. I feel like, what's wrong with me? Why didn't I get it? Yeah.
Do
What
you
about
do
you,
you do
Michelle?
you ju do you, like, just kinda giggle along, or do you act like you get it?
I usually just giggle along. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't wanna be the one who's like, "I don't get it."
Right,
Right?
right, right.
So
Exactly, but then it's, like, awkward if it's something that you aren't supposed to understand and the other people know that, you
Mhm.
know what I mean? Like, if it was,
Mhm.
like, something from
Yes,
their
that's happened
childhood and
before
you're
too.
just kind of laughing.
Yeah. Right, 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 for sure. Well, my problem is, people when people use a lot of references, like media references, I'll
Yeah,
miss that, right? Because 'Cause I'm not always up to date on all the TV shows.
yeah.
Um
Yeah, so it can be uncomfortable. So today we're going to answer a listener question about this. This is a really great question, a really important skill to have.
Yes, absolutely, especially in another language, right? In your, second, third, fourth language, English,
Yeah,
yeah, it can be double trouble, especially stressful, right? Because is
right.
it the language that causes us to not understand? Is it just the joke? Right, so I'm gonna
Right.
go ahead and read the listener question here.
Okay.
Are you ready? All right.
Mhm.
So listener says, "Hello, Lindsay, Michelle, Jessica, and Aubrey. My name is Asami, and I've been a listener of All Ears English for 5 years."
Wow.
Oh my gosh, that is
Thank
amazing.
you. Thanks for listening.
That's totally awesome, Michelle. It's totally awesome. Thank you, Asami. I recently listened to episode 1892, which is about why English inside jokes can build or break the connection. I could
Mhm.
relate to it in a lot of ways. When I was in Canada, I had an opportunity to hang out with local people, but then I often found myself feeling excluded because they
Mm.
were talking about inside jokes and laughing. Yeah. Since there were so many of these jokes and I didn't want to kill their fun, I didn't ask anything and I fake laughed, right? We've
Mm.
all done that, right?
Yes.
It would be great if you could make an episode about what I could do or say in this situation where I'm the one who doesn't understand the content of the joke. Love you
Mm.
guys. Thank you, Asami. Oh, what an awesome lifetime listener. That's
I know,
amazing.
I love it, and yeah, I know, I think we can all identify with Asami, and even if
Yeah.
it isn't a language thing, I think, yeah, like, just so you know, Asami, you're not alone.
Oh, yeah.
Uh, I've been there, Lindsay's been there, it's not I mean, certainly it's, the language thing is one aspect, but there are also just times when you don't get the joke. I mean, do you ever hang out with, a group of friends, maybe they know each other from a certain situation, and they start making
Oh,
jokes about that, and then you don't wanna ruin the fun because it's fun for them, but you have no idea what
yeah.
they're talking about. So
It's very awkward.
we've all been there.
It's very awkward, yeah, for sure.
Yes.
I think once
Yes.
I remember being at a party because Boston is a place where a lot of times people, uh you do find groups hanging out with people from high school, right? That they
Yeah.
never left Boston,
Yeah.
they're still connected to their high school crowd. I found myself at a birthday party that turned out to be everyone that went to high school together, and I was bored, and as
Yeah.
soon as the yearbook came out, I went home. I was like, "I'm going home. They're breaking up the yearbook. This is not where I belong."
Yeah.
But, that's the minority situation, right? Most of
Yeah.
the time, you don't wanna have to go home. You want to do something here, right? So what can we do, Michelle? What can we do?
Right. Well, guys, so listen to that episode. Asami was referring to episode 1892 just once more with why English inside jokes can build or break the connection. So listen to that one. And as well, we have episode 1545, which is how to understand a fast and funny story in English. So that's another good one. Um, and yeah, Lindsay, we want to remind our listeners that today's episode is on YouTube. So you can go over and watch us on YouTube. I'm making a funny face right now. What?
And you'll never see it if you're not on YouTube.
That's right.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
true. Sometimes YouTube is a fun place to check out our episodes, guys. If you're more of a YouTube person, consume All Ears English on YouTube. All of our episodes are on there, and most of them are now on video.
That's
Okay, so
right.
check it out. Go to YouTube, type in All Ears English.
That is right. All right. So, Lindsay, so what if people are talking and you don't get the joke? So, what can you do? So,
Oh, yeah.
we're going to talk about two basic things here. I think the
Yeah,
first thing is you decide if you want to put the effort in. Is it something that, if I think if it's something from their childhood, something that they all know about, I'm not sure that it's worth putting in the effort, although it might be, but if it's something maybe culturally or just with language that you understand, maybe you say, okay, I just want to be honest. It really depends. You have
yeah.
to make that decision. Do you want to take a second, and if they're really going on about something, just go to the bathroom at that moment, or do you want to admit that you don't understand and that you would like to?
Exactly. There's a calculation that has to happen for all of us here in this moment. You know,
Yeah.
um, how much, like, how important are these people in your life? Like, are you just at a party, just passing, maybe not going to
Right.
connect with anyone after? Then, maybe it doesn't matter. But if these people are going to be, maybe
Right.
you're meeting the friends of your fiance, for example,
Right.
and this is
Mm.
they all went to school together or they all work together. It's a very important. You're going to hear this come up again and again. Maybe not at this moment, but there will be a time, one of these parties, where you wanna try to start to understand some context of their history together.
Yes, yeah. So
Mm,
that's a really good point, Lindsay. So really decide, make this decision. Is it worth
yeah.
it? Do you want to put this effort in? And if the second step is if the answer is yes, time to say something. And that's what we're gonna that's what we're gonna be working on. And if it's not worth it though, you can always, if everybody's laughing, you can always just make a joke like, I don't get it, but okay. You can
Yeah,
just make a joke like that, or you can
sure.
just ignore it.
Yeah, or you can always, I mean, I'm envisioning a party context where there's multiple groups standing around and talking, so you could always just move to another group, not
Sure.
in an offensive way, just kind of, people are always moving in and out. But if it's just one of those parties where it's maybe 10 people, everyone's in a big circle together, that becomes a little harder to
Mhm,
move out of the
mhm.
group,
Right.
right? Yeah, yeah, for sure. Okay. All right, Michelle. So if the answer is yes, and we do want to engage, what can we say? Let's get some language going here.
All right, so here we go. You can just be honest, be direct. "I don't get the joke. Can you explain it to me?"
Yeah, for sure. I think it's good to be honest. It endears you to people. They want to help
Mhm,
you. They might like
mhm,
sit next to you and kind of help you out, kind of be your translator, not literally your translator, but your
mhm,
cultural translator in a sense of
mhm.
these people have a culture and you've just heard an inside joke and you need the reference that they were college roommates, right?
Right, right, right. Or maybe it's a TV show they're talking about. Maybe they're talking
Right.
about the latest episode of Ted Lasso, and then,
Yeah.
you're like, "Oh, I wanna hear it,"
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
what's something else you could say?
Okay. Wait, what do you mean by that? I'm trying to understand jokes more in conversations. Let me
Yeah.
know. Right. So, yeah, so there's something disarming and confidence building for you when you say, I'm working on this. This is a goal of mine, right?
Right, exactly. So if it is, a language situation, or just like a show, just say like, I'm trying to understand more. I'm trying to learn.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I would say use your judgment. Um, do it once or twice. Let's say if there's 10 things that are said, 10 jokes that you don't understand, do this once or twice, not
Yeah.
for every single
No, not
joke.
right. That's a very good point. That's a very good point. Really choose the things that you find the most interesting. And also because
Yeah.
otherwise it's overwhelming to the people, and it's also overwhelming to you. Like you don't want to have like
Yes.
10 new jokes that you have to figure out. Like you
Right, 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 and
Yeah.
you wanna have that connection, you wanna be invited back, so it's about making good choices here, I think, and then, using your other connection skills, guys, to start other conversations. Maybe the whole group is telling a joke or telling a story, but then maybe you strike up a conversation on the side with someone next to you.
I was just
Great.
gonna say that. I was just
Yeah.
or just tell them, like, "Hey, you mind, like, explaining that joke to me I heard earlier?"
Yeah.
Just use
Yeah.
that as an opportunity. Maybe it's just a extra nice person who would take a second with you.
Sure, sure. I love it. I love it. And what would be the next one? Something else
Okay,
here.
so this is about, like, references. So if somebody's,
Yeah.
like, making a joke and you can kinda tell if it might be from something, they're quoting things and laughing, or they might say, "Oh, and that was so funny on that show." You might say, "Is that from a" right? Like, "Is that from a movie? Is that from a TV show? Is that from a song?" Right? Just, like, ask what that's from.
I know. This is where I tend to get into trouble, not getting those references, like I said before. Um, and then if it's a matter of maybe they're just saying it quickly and you
Mhm,
could get it because maybe you have the cultural knowledge, can you slow down a bit? I wanna understand the joke.
mhm,
Okay.
mhm.
And again, be selective with this, right? Maybe
Mhm.
once in an evening, not every time.
Not
Yeah.
every time, not every time. Just focus on the connection. If you don't understand it, don't get too upset. You could even if it seems like a reference, you could even write it down and look it up. Like you could give it a try. You never know.
Yeah, for sure. I love that. So, should we do a role play here? Do we have something we can
Yes, we
do?
do. We do. It's a little tricky to do because it's just the two of us.
Yeah.
But I tried to write it in a way so we could give it a try. Okay,
Okay.
so all right, here. So when you start out, Lindsay, you're talking to another friend.
Okay. All right. Oh, that's so funny. How you doing?
Is that from a movie?
Oh, no. Oh, no. It's from a TV show. It's from Friends.
Oh, I need to watch that more.
Oh, Michelle, you would
Okay.
never say that about Friends.
Except Lindsay, you gotta say, "How you doing?"
Oh, 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 I didn't do the Joey Tribbiani thing. Oh,
Sorry, it's okay.
no. I should have given you that. You should have had that role.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
How's you
Yeah.
doing?
How you doing? Yeah, so, yeah, if it's just like a joke and everybody's laughing, you could say, "Oh, is that from a movie?" Just ask and, yeah.
Yes, I love
And
that. I love
and
that.
that can bring about connection more actually, that, like, if they say the TV show and then you could say, "Oh, I wanna watch that more," like, and then, they
Yeah.
might get excited and talk to you about it. So it might bring up other conversations. It might be helpful.
Yeah, so I think that, the key here is there's 2, like, inside joke
Mhm.
scenarios. When people have shared experiences, that's a
Yeah,
lot harder to get into, and
yeah,
that might be where we step back and we tryna start side conversations or drive the conversation somewhere else, but when it's a
right.
cultural reference, that's an opportunity we should be trying to consume as much as
Yes,
we
yes.
can. Right? Reading, writing,
Mhm.
reading books, reading novels, reading the newspaper, watching popular series. So we have the capability of getting in there with that kind of
Right,
thing. You can't be
right.
someone's college roommate, right? You can't go
Right.
back.
True, true, true. So let's do another role play. So here we go. This
Mhm.
is kind of that scenario Lindsay's talking
Okay.
about. So, okay. So when we start this off, I'm talking to someone else. Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Okay. Here we go. Oh my gosh. Remember Mr. Paul and the frogs? Oh my God.
I don't get it, but okay.
It's just some silly joke from high school.
Yeah, and you know what? The truth here is that I think people with good social skills are usually not gonna go too much into their
Yes.
personal experiences as college sophomores when there are other
Yeah.
people at the party, or they're gonna do it a little and then they're gonna translate for you. They're gonna say, "Oh, they were college roommates," or someone on the side is gonna tell
I
you.
agree. I think
It's
so. I think people are nice and will try and get you involved.
Yeah, yeah, and if you find yourself at parties where people are always talking about their high school or college experiences and you're, like, in your 30s, maybe that's not the group for you because
Yeah, if they're not aware, I do think there's a responsibility of people
Yeah.
having these conversations. If you are like with all your like college friends and there's like a new person and then you're just gonna
Yeah,
do that the whole time, I don't think you're very
that's rude. It's just
emotionally
rude.
intelligent. Like I think it is rude. And so I would hope that yeah, if you find that you're constantly in that position with people, then it's kind of like, I don't know, maybe these people aren't that nice in the first place.
I kind of agree with that. It's like, you're not the problem. They are the
Right.
problem. So let's
Right.
let's find another group. Let's find That's what I loved about living in New York City, Michelle, is
Mhm.
oh my gosh, the vibrant social groups you could have, right? How many people you could meet from all over the world. And these people didn't go to high school together, right? But they're talking about interesting things now, the world, what's going on, their cultures, your culture. It's just vibrant. So make choices or about who you're around, I would say. Ah,
Right, right, right. Exactly, exactly. So, guys, we gave you a couple of role plays. And this one you said like, I don't get it, but okay. You can make a kind of little joke and then somebody will
yeah,
comment on it. But I think the
yeah,
takeaway is be honest. Don't be
yeah,
afraid to tell someone you want to learn more about jokes, especially about the references. I think people will appreciate it. But you also have to decide sometimes, is it worth it? And do you wanna, if you just did it 2 seconds ago, do you wanna
don't.
say again, right?
Yeah,
But it is okay to say you wanna learn more about jokes, and we wanted to give our listener and you guys some ways to talk about it or to evaluate it if it's worth it, on this episode.
yeah, totally. This is an opportunity for connection, but it's not a reflection of your fluency if you don't get the joke. It's just a matter of the content. Maybe you don't
Right.
have the content. So keep that in mind,
Yeah,
guys. Don't make it a big hit to your confidence. You can come out of that party confident depending on how you choose to navigate that situation.
exactly. Yep, yep,
Yeah, so
definitely.
good. I love this. Good topic.
Alright, yes, great question. Alright, thank you, Asami and Lindsay. I'll talk to you next time.
All right, talk soon, Michelle.
Bye.
Bye.